Power Rangers is kinda dead right now. I mean, yeah, there's reportedly a movie in the works with Paramount, but the TV show ended back in 2023. It's also not new information to fans that the show almost ended in 2009, 2002, and 1998. But today, I wanted to talk about the original ending to Power Rangers. See, originally Power Rangers was only commissioned for 40 episodes. The show would run through the Zyuranger footage and then get tied up in a nice little bow at the end. Of course, that didn't happen. The show was a huge success and it was commissioned for another 20 episodes, then a season 2, then a season 3, and then, well, a season 30. But what did the original end to Power Rangers look like? Well, we actually know. Episodes 39 and 40 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are titled Doomsday, Part 1 and Part 2. The episode opens with the OG5 at school. Kimberly is reading out a newspaper report on the fact that Angel Grove is going to host a Power Ranger Day, a celebration of the Power Rangers that will serve as a thank you for protecting the city. Kim makes a sarcastic remark that she thinks the Rangers will show up, which is overheard by Bulk and Skull. Skull is none the wiser, but Bulk suggests they should steal their thunder and show Angel Grove that there are more superheroes than just the Rangers, starting off their side plot for the episode. We then cut to Rita's palace where she talks about looking into the party and sending a monster down to cause chaos and, as always, destroy the Power Rangers. Oh yeah, and this is probably a good time to point out that Tommy has left the show at this point. The green candle burnt out and there were no plans for the Green Ranger to return. Rita then calls upon the Star of Doom and uses it to summon Cyclopsis, an evil Megazord for Goldar to pilot. Back in Angel Grove, Jason and Zach are checking out the Power Rangers event before it really kicks off. They bump into Angela and Zach, as usual, asks her out. No, my man was about to risk it all for a piece, but Jason immediately holds him back. The rest of the team show up and they are ecstatic, though Kim notices that Tommy is nowhere to be seen and maybe the loss of his powers made him too emotional to attend the event. We briefly cut back to the moon to see Rita has a plan to capture the whole crowd in order to trap them in another dimension. We then immediately return to Bulk and Skull, who are plotting their distraction. They step into the crowd dressed as superheroes going by the name of the Incredible Bulkster and Super Skull. The Rangers are just about ready to morph before Bulk and Skull take over the entire event, getting on stage and frankly making a fool out of themselves. Whilst they're fooling around, Goldar and Rita initiate their plan and the citizens of Angel Grove start magically disappearing, except of course the Rangers. They contact Zordon, who is already on the case. It also turns out that Rita's palace must be closer to Cyclopsis for it to reach maximum power, prompting Rita to move her palace to Earth. They land and Cyclopsis is summoned. Alpha is bricking it and Zordon orders the Rangers to morph and form the Dino Megazord. The battle begins, but Goldar and Cyclopsis are wrecking the Megazord. Jason calls on the Dragon Zord for backup, unleashing him from the sea and joining forces, but even with the Dragon Zord, the Rangers are no match. In a last-ditch effort, they upgrade to the Dragon Zord battle mode, once again to no avail. Goldar is about to finish them before Titanus appears, allowing them to initiate the Dino Ultra Zord and finally defeat Cyclopsis. Rita, as usual, is very upset and uses her own magic to blast at the Zords, sinking Titanus into the ground. Rita leaves her palace and casts a spell to summon Lokar, another interdimensional being and a former villain to the Rangers. With the power of Lokar, Cyclopsis is reborn. The Rangers are helpless, pretty much homebound until the Zords gain enough power. Zordon tells them that the people of Angel Grove are safe, but the only chance they have of saving them are if they finally win the war against Rita Repulsa.
Prepare to be destroyed.
Wait! I just want to tell you something.
Choose your last words wisely.
I wanted to tell you about our Patreon.
Huh? What's that?
It's a place where you can get a bunch of creator updates, early access to videos such as this one, and even exclusive Patreon-only content.
Really?
Really, and it's all for the price of just one meal deal per month. In fact, even cheaper.
That's a steal!
Trust me, I know. Just go to patreon.com/filmformstudios or hit the link in the description and it'll take you right there.
I'll do that right now. See ya!
Part 2 begins with Zordon giving a rundown on Cyclopsis, saying that it hasn't been used in over 10,000 years. He's also exceeded the original heights, explaining that if Cyclopsis isn't destroyed, then the whole world is doomed. Alpha says that the Zords need another 12 hours to reach full power, but Jason, as the leader, makes the decision that they need to take on Cyclopsis at half power. Billy looks at him like he's insane, and Zordon confirms that this is a very dangerous decision. However, the team do step in and insist that they go back to action as soon as possible for the sake of Angel Grove. Zordon said it's never been attempted before and that failure could result in them and the entire morphin grid being destroyed. Okay, side note. What? Since when have the Zords been connected to the grid that closely? I don't know. I mean, this was the original ending, so I guess that was going to be retconned along the way. Anyway. Meanwhile, Rita is at max power with both Cyclopsis and Lokar on the loose. The Rangers, for what looks like one last time, morph into action and return to their Zords, accompanied by the amazing theme song that never fails to bring hype. Immediately, Golda has the advantage and completely severs one of the Megazord's arms, destroying a building in the process. All the backups are down, but the Rangers won't give up. Strike after strike, the Rangers keep getting back up. They call on the Dragon Zord to assist, but Lokar gets involved, dropping both Zords. Then, Zord by Zord, they vanish. The Dragon Zord, the Mastodon, the T-Rex, completely gone. The Rangers evacuate. They land in Angel Grove and have lost all contact with the Zordon and Alpha. However, Billy reveals that the disappearance of the Zords is actually a failsafe that they implemented so that the Zords return to base when they're too weak. In terms of communication, they race to Billy's garage so he can work on a solution to fixing their communicators. I mean, after all, he is the original creator of them. Billy is trying his best, but the Rangers admit that without a new plan,
Well, this truly is the end of the Power Rangers.
Whilst working, Goldar appears with a group, or two, putties, threatening their lives as they're unable to teleport or morph. However, back at the command center, Alpha and Zordon are able to hack into the mainframe of Rita's palace due to the fact they're on Earth. And as we all know, witches keep their plans and spellbooks on floppy disks. Billy manages to fix the communicators and the Rangers return to the command center. Zordon reveals that they've hacked into Rita's databases and have found a weakness in Cyclopsis. You see, Cyclopsis copies the fighting style of each Megazord, so if they frequently switch between Zord modes, Cyclopsis won't be able to keep up. The Dino Zords, the Dragon Zord and Titanus are resurrected and the Rangers morph back into action. For the final time, the Zords are summoned in an epic call-out montage tracked with that sweet Zord theme. First they fight as individual Zords, then as the Dino Megazord, upgrading to the Dragon Battle Zord and finishing with the Dino Ultra Zord. With one final strike, the Rangers once again defeat Cyclopsis. As for Rita and Lokar, they just retreat, I guess. Back in Angel Grove, the civilians are free, Bulk and Skull amongst others being very pleased to be back. Then, the Power Rangers finally make their appearance and start walking through a crowd of fans. We see a group of kids talking about who their favourite Ranger is before Tommy shows up telling them that every Ranger is awesome and greeting them just before they get on stage. The Mayor thanks the Rangers and the crowd goes wild. Beautiful, honestly. We're back at the command center and Zordon thanks the Rangers and also tells them it's time to choose again. He explains that whilst the forces of evil aren't gone entirely, they have the choice to return to their regular lives. However, whilst Rita may have retreated, they emphasise that evil will never quit and they'll all remain Power Rangers for as long as they can. The episode ends with one final hands in as they jump to the sky. And that is the end of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Originally, anyway. Honestly, what a story. I know people have mixed opinions on MMPR, but if that were to be the finale of the show, it definitely wrapped things up nicely. Giving the Rangers an opportunity to retire and them still sticking together was beautiful, and what made it even better was JDF's cameo during the ceremony to support his old teammates. Oh, it was so cute. I think the fact that we got more episodes was great, but I at least wish they had started season 2 immediately. Like, we had some great episodes during the final 20, but it would have been a lot cooler if Rita had fully retreated and Lord Zed was the new threat, allowing the Rangers to return to action after a brief hiatus. Either way, I think they did a decent job at creating a fitting finale. The villains didn't die, promoting that a retreat or a truce can be the answer, along with the Rangers deciding to continue their duties despite the threat level lowering. Whilst it does pose some questions, like only morphing when necessary, I feel it has summed up the last 40 episodes, giving each character a decent amount of time to shine. I wish Tommy could have had a bigger role, but his return was still nothing but monumental. And besides, season 1 did continue for another 20 episodes, along with the whole show continuing for another 30 years. What are your thoughts on the original finale to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? Let me know in the comments below. We also have an Instagram and TikTok that I posted recently if you guys want more film content, and as plugged earlier, we do have a Patreon page if you wanted to consider supporting us. If not, that's totally fine. Subscribing and sharing does the same thing. But like I said, hope you enjoyed. I'm off to watch some more Power Rangers. I want to give a huge thank you to our Super Dino Mode Patreon, Sarah Jane, along with a massive shout out to Yugi Joe aka Joel Paul for being the voice of the monster in our Patreon clip.